Welcome to another scene in Darkness in Dublin. Today we have three little mage folk who are decided to meet up and hang out by an old abandoned church that Daniela recommended. It's towards the northwestern part of Dublin, by a nice, old street that seemed to have several houses that seem to be up for sale. Nearby this nice park that seems to have an old fountain that seems to be out of service. It seems like an underdeveloped area that's almost dying a little bit. Doesn't seem to be. All there seems to be is just an old little bit of fallen snow that's melted away, and the sounds of animals that you might see in a suburban area scurrying through the streets. Daniela, currently right now, is waiting at the top of the bell tower of the church. Climbed up all the way, looking out towards the horizon as it's about to set. Drinking a pack of blue fluid as she waits for her fellows.
Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, sure. What time of day is it?
Sorry?
What time of day is it?
We'll say, I said the horizon was, the sun was going down, so probably sometime in the evening.
Okay. Yeah, Rupert is arriving, walking up the hill. I assume he's local, so I assume he's still been here at some point in his life before. He's looking, he is generally looking somewhat tired. He's obviously been through a lot recently. Have you got Prime Sight up?
Unfortunately, I don't.
No, fine. Okay, yeah, fine. He doesn't look hurt in any way. He does look somewhat tired, and obviously got a lot on his mind and stressed.
You see Daniela hanging out, just sitting by like this, one of the windowsills of the church, looking out. She sees you, kind of nods and says, "Yo."
Oh, hello there. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Hope you and hope like the painting.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. It's. I don't suppose she's had much exposure to the visual arts.
Well, there's some exposure for you. Let me know how she likes it.
I can speak to her. Would you? Do you teach painting?
I mean, I've got the time.
Well, I was thinking it might be good for her to learn a manual craft.
I'm not experienced when it comes to necessarily drawing with using a pencil on a piece of paper, but I can teach her how to do it on the computer.
That's a skill itself. Again, yes, computers have not been, shall we say, foremost in my mind whilst planning what you should learn. So I'll have a word with her and see if she's interested, and then we can talk more.
Sounds good.
Thank you again.
You okay?
Okay. Cue Nicholas.
Okay.
No,
Go ahead. Finish up real quick.
no. I was just saying. Daniela actually asked, "You okay?"
Oh, yes. No, I'm okay. I am okay. I just had a long few days. You might. Oh, did you also get the letter about the Monkey King?
I did. Unfortunately, Cabal mates needed some help with establishing some wards and all that.
That was probably for the best, all in all. A lot of people who, shall we say, were not ready and minded for combat turned up and got a little more than they expected.
Yikes.
No one's seriously hurt, so it's all ends well, I suppose. But it was a little bit worrisome along the way.
On one hand, I'm sorry I wasn't there to help. On the other, I don't know if I can handle that anymore. But I have a feeling that more's going to come. Are you sure you're going to be okay? That stuff's rough on people.
It was rougher on Eliza. Beg pardon, Dr. Holt.
I know Eliza.
Yes.
It's been a while. I haven't talked to her in a long time.
She joined us partway through, but again, she how can I put this? We were forced to fight an old friend,
Heavy.
which was tough for her.
Damn. And I guess we can cue. That would be a perfect time for Michelle to pipe in.
You said this is like on top of a hill.
On top of a church, abandoned church.
Okay. She'll come wandering off the hill wearing a big fleece jacket, flogging Molly t-shirt, pair of jeans, and a big travel bag, like probably almost as tall as she is, long-wise. Kind of carrying it with both hands. Hey.
Hey.
Sets it down. Okay. How's everybody doing?
Well, honestly, pretty decent. But I hear, well, you go ahead, Rupert.
Oh, I'm just tired. I'll be fine. I'm not hurt at all. Just had a busy couple of days.
Anything interesting?
Did you also get the letter about the Monkey King?
That was real?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh. Yeah, I got it.
Some people in the city have had dealings with him before.
I've had them. He's an interesting lad.
Are you familiar with Pigsy then?
Pixie.
It was the one who sent the letter.
Rings a bell. I don't quite remember. It's been a while.
I think he's a lesser spirit of their mythos. Also divine in his own way.
He traveled with the Monkey King, right?
Well, it's not really my
what is it?
area.
To Shangri-La. That's where they were heading.
Anyway, I picked up one or two bits and pieces about their last escapade. Something about eating the forbidden fruit. Which again, is at least a story I can recognise from my own mythos. But no, that's not what happened. Monkey King was missing. He was literally fading. It turned out he'd been captured by Cypher 9.
Oh no.
Did you get him back?
He was being held on board the Behemoth. That's the sister ship of the Leviathan.
What?
The Leviathan was a huge battleship. It was downed and then salvaged by the Aetherites and others. The Aetherites have it now. but Cypher 9 went rogue from the Thenocracy with the sister ship, the Behemoth.
Okay. That's out of my field of study.
So, yes, we managed to, in the end, we managed to rescue what the current state of the Monkey King is, but they were, as you can imagine, doing things to him.
Ew.
So currently he's been split into two. There's now a yin and a yang version.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, yin and yang is a lot more complicated than. I mean, that could be that. She kind of like seems to be like rolling that through her mind, and she's like, "That's oh my."
Okay, well,
It'll be interesting to see the yang version.
So,
okay. She will go and reach into her bag, start pulling out wrapped presents.
Oh,
but I think what was most disturbing to at least the good Dr. Holt was we met win rate.
what?
Win rate saved us and the mission by bonding an EMP bomb that had been disguised as Yuki, or inside a disguise, a replicant of Yuki, to himself, and then teleporting away. And then we assumed would die to the EMP bomb.
Yeah.
The Technocracy found him and rebuilt him.
Wainwright didn't deserve that.
He's at peace now, and I believe he was himself again at the very end.
Death calls. Hopefully he'll be okay now.
She hands Daniela a big box.
She's like, sorry about the Dower Moon.
She just hands it to her. And
she kind of puts it in her lap. I feel bad. I didn't think to get one for you.
That's fine. I usually come up short.
Well, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. All right.
No time to open it. So she opens it.
On the side there. And there's a couple of CDs. Some Flogging Molly, Stew and Sour, and Rocks Classics from the 70s.
This is awesome.
You're welcome. Rupert, most of that bag is for you. There's some sandwiches in there if anybody's hungry.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, here they are.
Okay, so I got Hope some books as we were talking about that. And she hands him one. This is for you specifically because you remind me of him. It's in the side link.
Thank you.
I got her the where's the book at? Beowulf, because it's Beowulf. Book of Enoch.
Whoa.
Mhm. Book of Nine Rings. And a book on Greece. She's curious.
Well, that'll teach her a lot.
Yeah. I'm grateful. No, I really am. Thank you. Sorry if I'm just not in the
No, it's okay.
jovial mood right today. I'll be fine. I just it was a lot to take in.
She kind of takes off the old jacket that she has temporarily, puts it in her pocket, puts on the new one, kind of wraps it around her. Comfy.
Yeah. I figure it's cold here. Really cold. So
Yeah. I'm used to it. I'm from Kamloops and, Western Canada. It's cold there, but it's nice.
I figure you have a computer somewhere, so you can always copy those CDs too.
Yeah, definitely.
Should have gotten you 8 tracks.
Nah, that's fine. Sometimes I like to just... I have an old CD player. I don't know if I might have it still somewhere. I remember I would listen to it in the car when, my mom would drive me places as a kid. Good times. Oh. What made you, you celebrate Christmas and all that, Michelle? What are you all about? I don't know much about you.
I celebrate it as far as the gift giving and all that. I'm not very polytheistic. Holds up her hands that have the henna stuff on it. Yeah.
So you believe in all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody in particular?
Hestia and Athena and Aphrodite. I go too.
Hestia was one of my favorite gods in the Greek pantheon. People seem to undervalue home sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Well, my parents were... One was agnostic and the other was a deist. So it was interesting.
My parents were similar. They just kind of believed in God, and that's really it. They didn't really push anything on me. It was a kind of a simple life.
When did you come here?
Few years ago. I think four odd years ago. I've been here.
I think that was about when I showed up too.
Yeah. Family had business here, so moved in. Was studying at Trinity until I realized that probably get a better education just by going out and experiencing the world, eh?
Mm-hmm. Crap. Forgot what I wanted to say.
Well, if you know any mind tricks, that might be useful right about now. But it'll probably come back to you.
Probably. Hangers. Did you both have a weird dream the other day?
Yeah.
No?
Me and Rory were talking about it. A lot of people apparently had it.
Oh.
You didn't have it?
No.
Oh. It was bad. It's the first time I felt violated like that.
You all had the same dream?
I don't...
Yeah, spooky guy. Tried to. Was talking about how, I guess, same old silence will come, darkness will come, something trapped them. And of course, I see you now. She's trying to recall in her. She brings out her journal from her bag, sorts through the pages. Said something along the lines of, "When there was nothing, there was silence. When there was silence, there was peace. Now deprived and despoiled, we rage and howl, until all that is can be as it once was." And then, she'll show you a picture of it from that she drew in her journal. Black corruption streaming forth from his mouth. The figure stands when he speaks. A torrent of darkness sprays forth. Any light it touches will simply be eradicated, and you can probably see that in the drawing. And then you'll see a chat bubble that says, "I see you," or a comic bubble.
Has anyone identified this?
I don't know what it is.
No.
Well,
probably something else to deal with. Felt like
the image
it
I
looked
don't
into me.
recognize. What the opening words were? What was it? There was silence.
When there was nothing, there was silence. Where there was silence, there was peace. Now deprived and despoiled, we rage and howl, until all that is can be as it once was.
Well, I mean, if you think of the opening words of Genesis, in the beginning was the was let me sometimes I remember it right. I was thinking about the in the beginning there was the let me check it.
Basically, there was a void of blackness and nothingness, and then several different myths have the same thing. There was a void of nothingness, and some kind of titanic thunderbolt came in,
and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So
I suppose there were things that enjoyed the silence. Creation was made, and they were upset. Now they want to end it all.
Well, there's one other bit in here I recognise. Now, again, this might be tenuous. The last phrase here, "I see you." Can you think which popular fictional character uses that phrase?
Sauron?
Yes. And who is Sauron based on?
It depends. Wasn't Melchior the devil?
Yes. I believe that's right. But I was thinking that Sauron with the great burning or bitter eye is directly based on Balor of the one eye.
Oh yeah, and then there was that.
Yes.
You were talking about the wizard.
High Priest of Balor, yes. I was concerned that he's going to try to resurrect or wake up or whatever. He's God.
Okay.
Now again, that's a little tenuous.
Well, you said there was the stuff of him happening as far as Mordred and all that nonsense. That could make sense.
Yeah. And what was it? His symbol is a red eye, isn't it? Yeah, 2 red eyes.
Yeah. Let me think. He physically looked broadly normal, but he could change his appearance. But under the sight of the Fae, he had a third eye in his forehead. And when he attacked Cardiff, he wore armor with a great eye on the front.
I have a report on the Arthurian stuff I was able to dig up. I have to publish that. anybody can add anything to it. It's just what I was able to find. There wasn't a ton of connecting the Balor stuff to Arthurian lore beside the being killed by your offspring or the offspring's offspring. Spears seem to be a similar theme. There's a picture of Mordred being stabbed with a spear and dying, and I believe wasn't that what killed Balor?
Sounds like to me.
Yeah. So I mean that there's the connecting features there, but
Well, the spear is a symbol of of sacrifice. Or still, as you know, it's also the weapon used to kill Christ.
Lance of the Longinus?
Possibly that possessed by King Arthur in some legends.
Yeah.
But there was talk of this Mordred carrying something called the Sword of Peace, one of King Arthur's lesser swords. I've not been able to dig up much on that.
There's not much on it.
I contacted some of my sources in the Knights Templar because I thought they may well have lore on knights and Arthurian things and weapons and so forth. They didn't. They suggested I try the Verbena.
Interesting.
Listen. So I guess we gotta gather a team. Try and get this. I don't know. I don't know really what to do about this.
There was something else. I don't know if this is connected. I've heard talk a while back in this city. There were problems with fictional characters manifesting. Were you involved in this?
Not me.
I wasn't.
I remember in Siren's library when we were going to save him, there was something about someone saying that we shouldn't touch some of the fictional characters' stuff that was in there. Someone accepted that, and while they disappeared. So that might have something to do with it, but that was years ago.
There was a month or two ago. There was some weird going on with shipping, and they found like a letter with a black spot on. I heard, and I'm so busy with the whole Mordred thing, I didn't get involved. But it was signed LJS, and they didn't know what that meant until I pointed out that the black spot and those letters is Long John Silver.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
But it does make me wonder, could it be some of these other things are also fictional characters? Well, Sauron. Or Mordred, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, we just remember real quick. Well, we were saying there was more to Mordred than just the Mordred thing, right?
Yes. Well, there's the whole Well, he claims he's a high priest of Balor. He's clearly of strong Fey blood, and he's clearly demonstrated massive magical power. And and he's claimed former membership of an old Hermetic house. I don't suppose, Daniela, you got anywhere with the looking back at the night he escaped?
I've been trying to pull together the bravery to go. I don't know why, but every time I think about going there and actually end up doing it,
You want me to go with
turn the corner.
No, I mean no pressure. It's ultimately it's not your fight, and
Well, it seems that these guys are threatening everybody, including me. My friends had the dream too. Gotta get involved somehow, I feel like.
As I say, if it's easier, maybe just looking at, say, the room outside so we can see who went in, that would be useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I can well imagine, watching traumatic events is not a pleasant experience.
She just shakes her head.
Well, if you decide to go, let me know. I can go with you.
I appreciate that. Sounds like a plan.
There's another, well, it's a traumatic event, but it's far less personal for any of us. It would help me to talk through it, shall we say, as a philosophical matter. Do you, if someone asked you whether you thought that the use of nuclear weapons at the end of the Second World War was justified, what would you say?
Yes.
Okay. How would you support that answer?
Because in the end, more people would have died if it had gone to invasion, including citizens, which would have been much higher.
I agree with you. Well, both the analysis and the logic that follows from that.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
No, but we all have this. From what we do know of the events.
Well, I'd feel more than, well, probably it was, I don't know if justified is the best word, but
Omens just another.
might have been necessary.
That
Problem is I'm starting to feel these days it might be a slippery line of logic. Just a gut feeling. I need to articulate it and think it through, but
I can see your concerns about people with good intentions doing very bad things.
or people thinking that they're doing the right thing, but not realizing for themselves that what the right thing is really, really tricky to narrow down. Not only that, but when you've got a subjective reality like we realize, it gets even thornier. But at the same time, if you don't have some kind of conviction about what you're going to do, you're kind of incapacitated. So it's a very tricky.
Suppose, hypothetically, you learn that a mage had given mortals the insight, inspiration, secrets, how are you going to put it, to construct those bombs.
a mage had done so.
Hypothetically, suppose you learn that a mage had given the mortals the power to split the atom. Would that change your answer?
No.
Or would that? How would you? Or would that? Or what view would you take of such a person?
Just same as I would take with a scientist that I believe split the atom in the first place. They're advancing science. The Germans were working on it as well.
Hmm.
It
Yeah,
I guess the question is why was the mage teaching them? What was their intent behind it? Did they want to give them enlightenment? Did they want them to push forward and make the bomb? Did they want them to discover the secrets of the energy? But instead, they used it to be weaponized.
So you judge them based on their intent.
It just gives me a frame of reference to think with, I suppose.
Are we judging the mage? Or the people? Or the incident?
Well, I've moved on to this hypothetical mage that gave the sleepers the power to split the atom.
Well, then I would go with Daniela there. What was the intent?
Again, I'm just asking what the intent was, and then I wanted to think about it. Seems like that's an important piece of information. Intent is a big thing when it comes to crime, right?
Well,
if you accidentally kill someone, it's very different than intending and planning to kill someone.
Yes. Oh, and even doing it with intent, but in the heat of the moment, is different.
Yes.
Doing it
kind of passion.
Pre-planning, more different in certain countries than others, but still different.
Well, I mean, if the mage purposely made it to purposely goad whoever made it to bomb another country, then it would depend on why they wanted that. Did they do it because they wanted the war to end and they just wanted to hurry it up? Well, then I can't really necessarily judge the mage negatively for that, although you have magic. Maybe there was a different way.
And that would be one of the more darker motives.
And the darker motive is you were looking forward to seeing how sleepers were going to destroy themselves.
I mean,
if it was just an accident, then well.
Do you think there is a case to be made that the existence of those weapons has actually brought about a relative peace ever since their use? There has been no major world war since those weapons existed.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
There have been countless small wars across the globe. There still are, but
they've been not as large, and the number of them are decreasing typically every few years or so. Although I would have to do a lot of thinking and probably a little bit of analyzing to determine whether it was the nukes or something else. I mean, there are a lot of factors that go into why the world is the way it is today.
True. But
you got 7 billion people plus a cosmos to consider.
And those questions are probably difficult to find certain answers, but I think there is a reasonable case to be made that at least the existence of nuclear weapons contributed to having no major wars between great powers.
Yeah.
It was a cold war, not a hot war.
It's the ultimate deterrent. For the most part. I mean, Europe was going to war how often before?
Well, let's see.
World War One, Two.
Well, there was the two world wars. Before the First World War, there was the Franco-Prussian War in 1870s. More significantly, there was the Napoleonic War in
30 years war.
1815 at Waterloo. Before that, there was the 7 Years' War of 1740s that Churchill called the First World War. Frankly, it was more worldwide than the First World War was.
Mm-hmm.
I think those bombs probably traumatized humanity, though. In Cold War, too.
Probably.
Hear a lot of stories about how people felt and what was going through their minds. even today, a lot of people, with whether they're whether they have a right to be so, it doesn't matter. I mean, a lot of people who feared, at least before Trump and Kim Jong-un shook hands, people were really, really scared that any second something could happen. People are scared still. They're scared something could happen today. People don't seem to trust their own species. I don't know.
Oh, I mean,
Everyone's really, a lot of people, at least my generation, just seem to be terrified.
I live day by day. I mean, things are better than they were during the Middle Ages. When if something happened, you strung up your local Jew and set him on fire because he was Jewish.
Certain countries, that kind of thing still happens, but not on the scale, on the same scale, and it's not as widespread. Or it's just underground. You just don't hear about it.
Yeah. Out of the Middle East and Burma, Africa.
Yeah.
So, Rupert, why do you ask?
There's some things it's not entirely appropriate for me to say, but I'm sure you can imagine that when I speak of a hypothetical mage, it might not be entirely hypothetical.
Is the frame of reference what we're speaking about, or is that just a metaphor?
It's an academic matter which has been playing on my mind of late for good reason.
Okay.
No, it's not directly relevant to what's happening now, but there are reasons why it's on my mind, as I say.
Has something to do with your job? Or is something internal within the order?
No, it's not to do with my mundane job. Yes, it's a mage matter. As I said, I'm not this hypothetical mage I'm speaking about might be not very hypothetical.
Okay. I'm going to prod you more later.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing is, I guess I'm a gal that likes to have information on hand before I make any kind of judgment, and even then, who knows if the judgment even matters. Most people who have NDEs, usually most of them talk about how there's no judgment in the end.
Well,
strange that those who've actually died give a different report than many other books.
So, slightly strange question. Does anyone want to take a trip to Scotland anytime soon?
Any particular reason?
I just want to visit some historical sites again.
Hey, an opportunity to check out the local ecology of the souls there and local sentience.
There you go. You could bring hope.
Yeah?
How will you plan to travel?
Boat. Ferry.
Okay, we'll have to sort our passport out. But that's not impossible, I'm sure, to handle.
Let's do something. Looking something up real quick.
I've been hoping to.
Okay, that's
I want to take you up on that offer.
That'd be fun.
Although I think dealing with Mr. Baylor might be. I don't really know whether I'm going to get involved in that or not. I feel like
don't know.
I know. No, I guess that's. I mean, you've given the best theory about that so far.
I mean, it doesn't quite fit. I mean, Balor is a god of the sun in its negative aspects, a god of drought. He's not associated with darkness.
Hmm. Is he associated with eclipses?
Possibly, I guess.
But darkness seemed to be the major motif.
Yeah.
Why is it darkness always got to be evil?
Well, there's an interesting History Channel show on that, which I enjoy.
You better check that out.
Yeah. It's, well, things always happened at night. You had highwaymen, people being killed. You couldn't see, no electricity, so if you didn't have a torch to go outside, you're exposed. And then it stems from the whole caveman thing.
All right.
Animals hunting us at night, not being able to
See,
see.
it's going to be a strange time if more and more people. I mean, if the technocracy or otherwise pushes technological advancement, people might just start having cybernetic eyes. People probably start contacts. People start being able to see in the dark pretty easily. You already have camera lenses. They're expensive now, but they can see full range color in pitch black. It's crazy. I wonder how that's going to change. I wonder how that's going to change the human perspective on light and dark. Because I usually look in the dark keep my sights on all the time in the dark. That's not so bad.
But what I do sometimes think is tragic now is that most people live in the great cities, which are lit up more or less all the time. But what they're denied is the clear view of the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some children grow up never actually seeing the wonders of the heavens above them.
There's very few places on Earth now that you can get a clear view of everything with no light.
Well, I'm not even requiring a fully clear view, just something.
Well, there's a will, there's a way. Again, if people have those eyes, maybe you won't need lights in the city anymore because you got one right inside. She just chuckles to herself.
Yeah. Well, there's actually some places here that I might want to check out too.
Well, might as well tag along if you're up for that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Let's see here. She messes with her phone. Still messing with the phone. Oh. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I wanted to check out Fallheart.
Fallheart?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on over there?
Just a graveyard I want to go visit.
Graveyards are cool. Nice and quiet.
Sorry, what's prompted this?
Uh, um, I think I have a past life there.
Whoa.
Like, I'm not thinking. I'm like 90% certain.
So where was this?
Um, in Fallheart.
Faha. Where's?
Yeah,
I'm not sure I'm catching you. Where else?
it's in Ireland. It's hold on. Hold it up on the map. So it looks like it's north of Dundalk.
Hmm. Do you have the ability to see like back and forth through time?
Mm-mm. Sometimes if I meditate, I can see things.
Well, if you want, I can link minds and look back and forth. If you want, we
Okay.
can set up a small observance. If that's something you want to do.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Careful of what you want to see. It's heavy
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It's gonna be. But yeah, Rupert, you can come.
Oh, thank you.
Fun.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. How far is it?
Let's see. Let's go. Pull up maps. Uh, um, an hour. If we drive,
No.
we can bus, and the bus will take 8 hours. So
Yeah, I'm game for a road trip.
uh,
There's also Uber, but usually the technocracy can probably track that.
well, hmm.
no one said walking. Out of curiosity. Oh yeah, we're not doing that.
Ireland
I think walking would be quite the trek.
It's a small island, but it's not that small.
No, it's. I mean, you're not up for a 16-hour walk. We could get there in a day.
I'm still not finding it on the map. How are you spelling it?
Huh?
I'm still not finding it on the map. How are you spelling it?
Faughart. It's a bit north of. Yep.
Danielle was like kind of going on her phone, checking it out, flipping through, flicking the finger.
Ah, yes. Oh, it's right up by the border.
Hmm.
Well, would you look at that? It's a ways away.
A little bit.
Seems like one of those areas you see in a movie towards the end.
Interesting of note.
Looks beautiful.
There's believed to be a legendary battle fought there with I'm gonna fail at pronouncing this, so hold on.
Oh, fuck up. Birthplace of Saint Bridget.
Hmm?
Birthplace of Saint Bridget.
Q Cullen battle there, apparently.
Hang on. Wasn't he one of the heroes who fought? Just a moment.
Are we going to have another connection to her?
No, I think he kind of has a lot of stories, but I think he's a different.
Yeah, I think he's a different cycle. Yeah. I think Balor shows up later. Yeah.
So Cullen is believed to be an incarnation of Lou, who is also his father. And Lou, of course, is the one that slew Balor.
Oh. Seems like the dots are connecting.
So
Yeah, but just gonna take that trip up there again. If anyone wanted to go. Fun.
No, I'm game to go.
Okay.
Sounds like it'd be a good place to test stuff out.
Also, Q Colin is similar to Heracles.
And not only that, I haven't talked to ghosts yet, if they're hanging around. Not sure if they mind having a weird old Magus come in and say hello.
Probably not, but I don't know. I don't talk to ghosts.
Strange dream, ain't it?
A little bit. Okay, well, that's anything else to?
Oh, there was a later battle fought there as well.
Yeah.
Was it Normans? And what's this? The brother of Robert the Bruce.
Uh-huh.
Oh, 1318. So that would make well the anniversary was last year.
Yep.
Do you remember anything about this past life?
Yep.
Would you like to share it?
Mm,
That you it's quite right to say no.
um. Okay. Well, OC. All of this stuff was in my history. So I'm assuming I'm fine to talk about it since the sheet was approved.
Okay, yeah. Well, if you want to proceed on that basis, and we'll understand if it turns out not. I guess.
Or should I just wait?
Fine with me either way.
Let me see if he's on.
You should be. I think you should. I mean, if the shield was approved, and let's all let Evan know about it.
Yeah, let me just ask him real quick. We'll just go with it, and then I'll tell him after. I guess.
Yeah. Well.
What you were just talking about, that
Yes.
I was a man apparently, and gravestone's there, and I remember fighting. I was able to piece stuff together, which is one of the reasons I came over here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Edward Bruce.
The person that was just mentioned, the brother
Yes.
of the Bruce,
Mm-hmm.
who had been hailed as King of Ireland by some of Ireland.
Yep. I can.
Very divided history.
A little bit. Yep. So, just a little curious. It's been earlier, but I like to make trips up there. Anyway, yeah, I'll message you guys, and we can set up a day trip if you guys want to go. And there's also the uh, mythology stuff we can look into while we're there.
Hmm.
I'm gonna post.
Probably be a good plan. Probably a good idea to set up mine shields. So
Yeah, Rupert, do you want to give me a hand with that sometime this week?
I'm happy to give you a hand. I haven't I might be fasted this week. And there was some effects of working arts on board the Behemoth.
Gotcha. Well, we can wait.
But on a related note, I need to recast my my defense against fire. It took a battering, so you're welcome to join me with that if you want to when I get around to doing it.
Sure, I'll give you a hand.
And again, we can.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go, and see everybody later.
alrighty. Nice seeing you again, Michonne.
See you soon.
Thanks.
Thank
Seriously.
you.
For the gifts.
You're welcome. Not a problem. Glad you like them.
Thank you, Press Player. Thank you, watching. Another episode of Darcy Dublin.